There's no real structure. There's no, I guess, that's kind of what Obama was talking about, too. And then O'Reilly had a good talking points.
I was in the Fox
of the
dress.
show yesterday.
By the way, his interns, O'Reilly, he has one intern who's so beautiful, I almost wept.
Really?
Oh, my, I wanted to just, you ever just look at someone and go, I want to cry looking at you, you're so perfect. But we were watching the other, because I did Red Eye, we were in the other agreement. I couldn't hear a word he said, but you could see that he was really getting amped up.
He was yelling.
Well, I saw
getting amped.
I saw your tweet where you said O'Reilly's yelling
at me because I'm sitting on the couch, I'm watching it, and I just felt like I was being talked to by O'Reilly.
Do we have it here?
It was let's
listen to this.
This is pretty good.
Oh wow! So far, I like it a lot. Oh wow! I'm making a great point.
Subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. On Friday, the president delivered surprise remarks to the press about the Trayvon Martin case and race in general. His main point: a plea for understanding.
There are very few African-American men in this country who haven't had the experience of being followed when they were shopping in a department store. That includes me. I don't want to exaggerate this, but those sets of experiences inform how the African-American community interprets what happened one night in Florida.
And that's true. Many black Americans harbor at least some resentment for past injury. But what President Obama surely knows is that you cannot reach a fair criminal verdict or design effective public policy that solves present problems by dwelling on the sins of the past. Talking Points believes the president was correct in addressing the race issue and framing it with the Martin case. He's the leader of America, and the country's talking about this. By the way, when you hear a pundit or politician saying we should have a, quote, conversation about race, that means you're in for a sea of bloviating, which will likely lead nowhere.
Bloviating.
The sad truth is that from the president on down, our leadership has no clue at all about how to solve problems within the black community, and many are frightened to even broach the issue.
Yep.
That's because race hustlers and the grievance industry have intimidated the so-called conversation, turning any valid criticism of African-American culture into charges of racial bias.
Yes.
So many in power simply walk away, leaving millions of law-abiding African-Americans to pretty much fend for themselves in violent neighborhoods. You want racism? That's racism. Thus, it is time for some straight talk. And I hope the president is listening tonight because we need him to lead on this issue.
O'Reilly.
Trayvon Martin was killed because circumstances got out of control. He was scrutinized by neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman because of the way he looked. Not necessarily his skin color, there's no evidence of that, but because he was a stranger to Zimmerman and was dressed in clothing sometimes used by street criminals. It was wrong for Zimmerman to confront Martin based on his appearance. But the culture that we have in this country does lead to criminal profiling because young black American men are so often involved in crime. The statistics, overwhelming. But here's the headline. Young black men commit homicides at a rate 10 times greater than whites and Hispanics combined.
There you go.
When presented with damning evidence like that, and like the mini Holocaust in Chicago where hundreds of African Americans are murdered each year, the civil rights industry looks the other way or makes excuses. They blame guns, poor education, lack of jobs. Rarely do they define the problem accurately. So here it is. The reason there is so much violence and chaos in the black precincts is the disintegration of the African American family. Right now, about 73% of all black babies are born out of wedlock. That drives poverty. And the lack of involved fathers leads to young boys growing up resentful and unsupervised.
Bingo.
When was the last time you saw a public service ad telling young black girls to avoid becoming pregnant?
You'd be crucified.
President Obama done such an ad?
Like
How about Jackson or Sharpton? Has the Congressional Black Caucus demanded an ad like that? How about the PC pundits who work for NBC News? White people don't force black people to have babies out of wedlock. That's a personal decision. A decision that has devastated millions of children and led to disaster both socially and economically. So, raised without much structure, young black men often reject education and gravitate towards the street culture, drugs, hustling, gangs. Nobody forces them to do that. Again, it is a personal decision. But the entertainment industry encourages the irresponsibility by marketing a gangsta culture, hip-hop movies, trashy TV shows to impressionable children. In fact, President Obama has welcomed some of the worst offenders in that cesspool to the White House, when he should be condemning what these weasels are doing. These so-called entertainers get rich, while the kids who emulate their lyrics and attitude destroy themselves. And then there's the drug situation. Go to Detroit and ask anyone living on the south side of the 8 Mile Road what destroyed their city. They will tell you narcotics. They know addiction leads to crime and debasement. But what do the race hustlers and limousine liberals yell about? The number of black men in prison for selling drugs. Oh, it's so unfair. It's a nonviolent crime. And blacks are targeted. That is one of the biggest lies in the history of this country. The thugs who sell hard drugs, no matter what color they are, deserve to be put away for long periods of time. They sell poison. They sell a product that enslaves and kills. They are scum. When was the last time you heard the Congressional Black Caucus say that? How about Jackson and Sharpton? How about President Obama? The solution to the epidemic of violent crime in poor black neighborhoods is to actively discourage pregnancies out of marriage, to impose strict discipline in the public schools, including mandatory student uniforms, and to create a zero-tolerance policy for gun and drug crimes, imposing harsh mandatory prison time on the offenders. And finally, challenging the entertainment industry to stop peddling garbage. Hey, listen up, you greed heads. If a kid can't speak proper English, uses the F word in every sentence, is disrespectful in his or her manner, that child will never be able to compete in the marketplace of America. Never. And it has nothing to do with slavery. It has everything to do with you Hollywood people and you derelict parents. You're the ones hurting these vulnerable children. You want a conversation? You got it. You want a better situation for blacks? Give them a chance to revive their neighborhoods and culture. Work with the good people to stop the bad people. Pumping money into the chaos does little. You can't legislate good parenting or responsible entertainment. But you can fight against the madness with discipline, a firm message, and little tolerance for excuse making. It is now time for the African American leadership, including President Obama, to stop the nonsense. Walk away from the world of victimization and grievance. And lead the way out of this mess.
Just walk away.
And that's a memo.
Damn. It's too bad not one black person heard what Riley had to say.
Not one black person heard that.
He just said that to a wall.
He's right about most of it.
Oh, it was great.
You can't agree with everything there.
You Hollywood people. He kind of lost me on. Really, Bill?
I like limousine liberal. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like how he says Jackson and Sharpton.
Jackson and Sharpton and his ilk.
He was.
I like it. I like that.
Hey, you know what? It's out there. It's honest. It's a
little more a little braver than
right,
most.
Right. Sure. Than most people. You know, he wasn't tiptoeing around the fact of even saying black instead of African American. Sure. You know, and he's right about the family unit and stuff.
Absolutely.
When you get a 75% illegitimacy rate like that, it's going to cause problems, and you see it in a lot of the younger black kids that are growing up without any type of male representation of the family. A mother that doesn't do anything, she's powerless to do anything as far as discipline goes.
Sure.
Sorry. I mean, we all like sitting here and thinking, oh, a family could be anything. It could be the single mom. It could be that. But when it's this institutional version of just fucking the single mom that does nothing, she collects welfare, she has no discipline over the child, they're going to run rampant. And that's what we're seeing at this point. We're seeing young teens running rampant. in big cities.
And he's right about I'll say this about the entertainment industry, what makes me sick. I don't think they cause the problems, but they do glorify it. And what bothers me is I don't care if they glorify it, but then they come out and try to do public service announcements.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't mind movies like Two Guns. God, I don't give a fuck. I don't believe that makes people commit crimes. But then don't come out and preach to me about how to speak or think or address issues. That's where entertainment loses me, is when they try to be fucking preachy despite what they do to make money. It's like, just do what you do to make money and go home and stop feeling guilty, collect your millions, and shut the fuck up.
I don't think the entertainment industry should be blamed for anything like that. But parents should be blamed for, or parent should be blamed for allowing their kid to listen to certain things. Yeah. There's a parenting issue like there is with any movie that's a little too much for certain kids to watch. Yeah. And there's music that kids at that age probably shouldn't be influenced by that much.
But you have to have parents to even go down that road.
Right, exactly. You need parents that are going to say no. And when you're learning how to speak, and all you're getting it from is the entertainment industry, he's right. Yeah, how are you going to compete when you got people like fucking Rachel Jeantel and the way she speaks trying to apply for a job? If she sat down in front of your desk for a job interview, would you entertain the thought of hiring her for a second?
Honestly, it would depend on the Rachel Jeantel you got. If you got the one in court, because apparently she's got like a decent GPA, like she's not. You might get a different version if you sat in front of her.
She's got a decent GPA because they just fucking shove these people through.
Maybe.
She's 19 and she's still in high school.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, she doesn't have a real.
They pass them all
real
right
GPA.
through. She couldn't speak. What?
Doesn't she speak 3 languages, though?
Please.
She speaks 3 languages because she was raised in a fucking household that spoke 3 languages. She didn't learn English and then go off to school and learn 2 other languages.
Learn French.
There's plenty of dummies that know 2 languages because there's 2 languages being spoken in the house.
She's delightful.
She's a tool. She's a big, fat, dumb mess.
Here we go. Here's Amanda in Nashville, Tennessee. Amanda.
Yes, hi.
Hello. Are you a black lady?
No, God, no. I'm white and proud.
All right.
Wow.
So what do you got on the topic at hand?
Okay. Well, like yesterday, my husband and I are watching TV, and they're showing these shows, making fun of kids between 3 to 10-year-olds, black children, of course, humping each other and dancing.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
And you're like, okay, you guys are going to jump up and down about this race card thing. Well, what are you doing about your children? Why is it that black children are allowed to act like...
But isn't that good, clean fun as long as no semen is being spilled?
Not to the degree that I saw that. Yeah, sure.
When you see fucking 7...
age,
7 and 8-year-olds are grinding on each other, literally grinding on. I've seen plenty of videos on that. I guess they were showing, and then I guess some of the TV shows pick up and like, oh, look at this funny video,
right?
And it's it's kids grinding on each other like they're fucking.
And when you talk to the parents about it, they're like, oh, well, that's just a cultural thing. That's just what we do.
That's the new cop-out. That's the new excuse. It's like, and that's because too many white people have been saying, like, well, this is a problem. This is a problem. And then you'll get the excuse of, you can't address this because this is our culture. And you can't excuse it by calling it a culture.
But if you say something negative is cultural, you're called a racist or whatever. But if you say something positive is cultural, that's acceptable.
That's acceptable, and it's great. Right.
White family let their children act that way, or Hispanic, they would be yanked out of the home in a second. When you let the black kids act that way, oh, that's just our culture, that's just our way. Well, that's the reason why y'all are getting pregnant at 10 and 12 years old. That's the why that most of, these people who have no concern over anything other than what the world is going to give them.
Yep.
Like, no.
They're sexualizing him at a very early age, and again, that just leads to more illegitimate children, and I don't know. At least people are talking about it, but it's so hard to speak honestly. If you speak honestly, I challenge anybody to go on Twitter and speak openly and honestly, and respectfully, but you will be you'll get a shitload of tweets about what a racist you are. It's amazing.
It doesn't matter how respectful you are. You're a piece of shit if you are any color if you're white, you're a racist and you're a piece of shit if you mention anything about any other race.
Yeah.
However, it's perfectly okay for them to dog everyone else in the world. No.
I hear you.
Control this shit.
All right, Amanda. Thank you for your input.
All right.
In Nashville.
All right, then.
Tennessee.
Let's say hi to John. John, what's up?
Hi, John.
Hey, boys. I was giving you a call with Piers Morgan. I think it was maybe last week. You guys might have already discussed it.
Piers.
He had on a black leader that actually took O'Reilly's standpoint.
Yeah, I saw that. Owned him. Fucking owned him.
Owned who?
The black guy owned Piers, man. Just fucking... Piers was trying to say shit, and this guy was just schooling him. I forgot who it was. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Larry Elder.
There he is. What's his name?
Oh, Larry Elder.
Yeah, Larry Elder.
Well, Larry Elder.
Larry Elder did him up. He lit up Piers.
Really? How long is this clip?
I don't know.
She's stupid, Larry.
2 minutes.
To black people. I think you're stupid for saying that kind of thing to try to get black people.
That wasn't my question.
That race and racism.
Do you think Rachel Gentile is...
When it doesn't.
Do you
racism
think she's
is not a major
stupid,
problem
Larry?
in America anymore, Piers. Racism is not a major problem in America anymore. The number one problem facing black people are the large number of black people born outside of wedlock. 75%. In 1960, 5% of all people in this country were born outside of wedlock. Fast forward, Piers, the number now is 43%. You look at that for crime, dropouts, all that kind of stuff is connected. The other big problem facing black America, Piers, is the economy. 1 in 2 black men does not have a job, and one of the heads of the Congressional Black Caucus once said, if a white person were in the White House, we'd be marching on the place because of the high unemployment. But we're talking about Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman as if it's the number one problem facing black America, and he's remotely on the top 10 list.
Okay, Larry. Larry, this isn't a sort of competition to see who can be the greatest filibuster in my show's history.
I'm not trying to filibuster. I'm just trying to make some common sense. I'm not hearing on your show.
Let me just get back to the question I asked you and see if you can actually answer the question. Do you think that Rachel Gentile is stupid?
I would say I think she's ignorant and uneducated.
I would rather have a George Zimmerman living in my neighborhood, and maybe if George Zimmerman were living in my neighborhood, we'd have fewer Oreo Castros. I thought we wanted people to be proactive. I thought we wanted people to
Larry.
Say something. I know, I'm answering something different.
Could you pause it for a second?
Answer my question.
Piers is baiting him and trying to get him to say Rachel Gentile is stupid. And that would be the headline. Oh, he says she's stupid. The actual answer is she's uneducated. She's ignorant, so I can't tell if she's stupid. Her lack of an education and her lack of an ability to articulate it prevents me from judging whether she's stupid or not.
But who cares if she is or not?
Exactly.
It's such an
an irrelevant
This guy's
question.
talking about problems in the black community and crime. And fucking Piers is,
Wants a
do you
sound
think
bite.
this chick is stupid? Who gives a fuck?
It is a dumb-ass question.
It's a non-point.
Yes.
This guy is getting into some real shit.
Right. He's getting into the real issue.
And he just
Piers
wants
wants to know
soundbite.
if he's calling a girl stupid.
Is she stupid? Who cares if she is?
Right.
This
She's
guy's giving
fat. You got me.
This guy's giving you good stuff here.
Yeah. A little rep.
Sort of criminal. He's not a criminal. He's
George
a guy
Zimmerman
who cares about his neighborhood.
shot dead an
He's a guy who
unarmed
cares about his
teenager.
neighborhood. He's a neighborhood watcher.
The one that was
Don't you
punching him in the
want people
face?
to be proactive? And there was crime in that neighborhood, Piers. I live in South Central.
There wasn't crime from Trayvon Martin in that neighborhood.
How do you know?
The burglar bars are not on there because of George Zimmerman. They're on there because of the minority of thug in the community that's messing up everybody's image and reputation. This is why people profile. Instead of being angry at George Zimmerman, be angry at the minority of the thug who's committing these kinds of crimes.
Okay, if I could jump in again. So, just to clarify, though, Trayvon Martin wasn't committing crimes in that neighborhood, was he?
It was an unfortunate incident. 2 people had preconceived
No one wants to answer
notions.
Pause that real quick.
It never should have been happening.
This is where Larry Elder and black guys like this irritate me.
Yeah.
This is where like fucking Malcolm X would have fucking shoot his asshole out and spit it in his face. It comes to that point where it's like, it's more than an unfortunate incident. You got to say this was a tremendously bad fuck up and blunder. It was a terrible, and like with O'Reilly, I agree with him almost everything he said. But stop saying racial profiling was not a part of it. It was. And I'm not saying that it is right or wrong, but just don't deny that it was there. Of course that's why he was stopped. If he was a fucking Chinese woman in that fucking outfit, Zimmerman never would have stopped.
But do you think if it was a black guy in an Armani suit walking down the sidewalk that George Zimmerman would have stopped him?
No.
Exactly. So it's not a race thing,
They're
is
both
it?
parts of it. It's part of it, sure.
It's part of it. So you get a black guy in a hoodie walking around. When you look at closed-circuit fucking security cameras from convenience stores. Black guys in hoodies are the majority of the people that are robbing those stores. That's the uniform of the fucking robber. It's like the old school fucking hood over or fucking mask over the face. So you profile it based on the fact that the clothing, but also, yes, that it's a young black male in that clothing. Like you said, if there's an Asian, but it's not just racial profiling. It's the whole picture. He's profiling that person. Everything about him.
Well, that's everything with profiling. For instance, no black guys in Armani suits don't get followed in stores either. They, you know what I mean? There's always a clothing aspect to it, or normally there is.
Sure.
I'm not saying every time, but a lot. So it's part of it. So just say what it is. It's like any type of profiling. There's usually another set besides.
But if you give in and fucking say that race is part of the profile, it will turn into you are racially profiling this gentleman.
But again, not giving in is the problem in these arguments. Everybody is so stuck on their point and using this to segue into the next argument.
Because they'll twist around what you're saying.
What they do with it is irrelevant to being truthful. Let them try to twist it around. If you're telling the truth, that's the problem. Is everybody people care about Trayvon Martin, but nobody really cares. He's a talking point.
Right.
He's a fucking.
True.
He's Zimmerman is a point for people who are for the Second Amendment to hey, look, stay you, and the black thing is a talking point for black people and liberal. Everybody uses this shit as just a talking point for their own fucking argument.
Right.
True.
Without listening to the other side at all.
And if racial profiling is a part of it, I understand why. Believe me. Again, Fat Nick in Queens, I was 100% with this guy, and he's racially profiled.
Let's go to Steve in New York. Steve.
Yes.
Steve.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve. How are you, buddy?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
All right.
I'd like to join in on this conversation again. Look, racial profiling is an issue. I mean, Jim is absolutely right. You know, if you're really going to have an honest discussion about race relations in this country, you have to deal with it honestly.
What's wrong with racially profiling? What's wrong with racially profiling somebody? And I bring up the example that we went through the other day. If you go into an ATM vestibule to go take some money out, and there's a couple of black guys in there wearing hoodies, sitting on the fucking one of the windowsills, maybe drinking some fucking booze or something. Would you take money out of that fucking ATM, or would you take money out from one where maybe there isn't anybody, or there's well-dressed people, white or Hispanic or even black? Wouldn't you profile those people for your own safety?
Well, frankly, Anthony, I would have the same negative reaction if I saw a white person or white people congregating in front of a ATM who were drinking, who were acting unruly.
Would you have the same? Wait. Hold on, sir. Let me ask you.
The conduct.
Would you have the same exact reservations about taking money out, or would you, knowing that most of the times, if people are held up at an ATM vestibule, that it's by a young black male, wouldn't you profile that a little more than you would white guys?
I would profile the conduct of the individuals.
Well, then you're going to fucking get robbed at some point because you're not thinking. You're thinking emotionally and not fucking logically then. You're being dishonest. Sir, you're being dishonest.
No, Anthony, you're being ultra paranoid about everyday circumstances.
I don't think I'm paranoid. I walk around, I skip. I have a skip in my step when I walk.
You holler and yell about all these negative traits that you exclusively attribute to the black community, and quite frankly, those negative traits, apply to just about everyone. You holler and yell about
at a far greater rate in the black community, a far greater rate of violent crime in the black community.
You know,
why am I supposed to not acknowledge that? Why am I supposed to go through my life not acknowledging that and not taking certain precautions to protect myself from that? Why?
You can acknowledge it. You can take...
No, I can't, apparently.
To improve it, but you don't negatively...
Fucking prove it. I'm talking about saving my own ass. That's all I care about, is walking through life and not getting fucked over. So I look, I assess situations, I walk away from the danger, and I walk toward the safety. That's it. Why is it a problem?
You're overindulgent.
No, I'm not overindulging.
It is, but it's overindulgent, and these kind of issues, quite frankly, is unhealthy. It is for everybody. I mean, for you to constantly harp on this day after day after day after day without offering positive, constructive solutions to it.
Positive, constructive. I've been saying the same thing O'Reilly said for years.
Nothing.
Really? How about black women stop fucking blasting kids out? How about that?
How about white women stop blasting kids out? And then you're talking about sexual...
There isn't a huge crime murder problem in the young white community. There isn't a giant murder problem in the young white community. Stop it. 75% illegitimacy in the black community. Stop it.
75% illegitimacy in the white community.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. You're a liar. You're lying now. Now you're just lying.
Look up the facts. Look up the facts, Anthony. The illegitimate rate in the white community.
75%. You're lying.
No,
how does the overall rate go down to 45% when the black rate is 75%? How do you factor that in? Mathematically, it doesn't work. Grab an abacus, you fucking moron.
Look at this guy. No, Anthony, you're the fucking moron.
Goodbye, racist. Bye, racist. Bye, racist. You're a racist. A dishonest, lying racist.
Anthony, you are the snowflake.
I'm done with you.
White. You know what I'm saying?
Shut up.
You're the racist.
You're the racist. You're a racist.
All right, let's go to Jackie on Long Island. Jackie.
Hi, Opie.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
When did Anthony become a racist? I haven't listened in a while. I just got a new car, and I got and oh my God!
Yeah,
last week.
Yeah, I didn't know this version of Anthony when we were at NEW.
Things have gotten worse. What can I tell you?
Like, listening to you guys always, and I loved Anthony. I thought he was the smartest guy on your show. And what's really pissing me off is that Jim is sitting there and you're sitting there not saying anything to him.
Shut up, you coal burner!
By the way, Miss, Anthony and I do debate this, and when I agree with some of what he says, and I don't agree with some of other stuff that he says. He's not. I don't think he's totally wrong. So when I feel Anthony is off on something, I give my opinion. What are you talking about?
I speak openly and honest about race in many ways. Some of it obviously comes off as racist. Other comes off as I'm knowledgeable on certain things. But anytime a white person addresses black issues and problems in the black community, they will be dubbed a racist. So you could call me a racist. I honestly don't think I'm racist. I mean, I have black friends.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't think I'm racist, but people will see it that way. People that don't want to really open their eyes and take a look around and notice that there is a problem in the black community, and any white person that addresses it is a racist.
Jackie, what's your thought on the whole thing?
Okay, I think I have a little bit of racism in too. I think we all do. We were brought up like that, but we try to keep it in check. Anthony is
check. Why would you keep knowledge in check? Why would you keep an open dialogue about race in check? That's been the problem. Why not openly talk about it?
I do openly talk about it.
No, I don't think you do.
Talk about it as black people are bad and white people are good. It's not.
No. Did I ever say that? Holy shit.
Do you mean on the air or off the air?
Oh, okay. See, and there is an element of humor here. I do like to play around with the fact that, I'm called a racist. It's kind of a funny character to portray on air. Do you understand a little bit?
Oh, it's a character.
A little bit.
Oh, all right.
Funny.
Yeah, the part where
hilarious.
I'm tolerant.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I've seen this character. I've seen this character in the pool,
It's
in
a great
hotels.
character.
Right. Wow.
Oh, you're damn good.
Wow.
This guy's in great character.
I'm a fucking method actor.
He's all in. When is the movie going to stop being filmed?
Like Steve, who calls. I like Steve as a caller. He calls in. He's a regular listener. But you
Love
can't,
Steve because it gets Anthony screaming by the end of it.
He does, always.
But you can't deny, it's like when you're arguing emotionally, you can't deny, you're right about, if you go to part of it is clothing. Like, if you go to an ATM, I wouldn't be scared if there was 4 black guys in suits joking around the ATM.
No,
4 guys in
not at all.
hoodies in South Philly would make me nervous.
Right, reservations.
Yeah, I mean, and it's okay to admit that. It's not,
apparently it isn't, Jimmy.
Yeah.
It isn't okay to admit that.
But we're on to the hoodie, so if I was a black guy and I want to do harm, I would go steal an Armani suit and start doing my crime
right?
in an Armani suit.
Start doing it in a suit. People be like, oh, that's nice.
The only problem with the outfit argument with Trayvon is what would have been an outfit that was appropriate for the rain for him.
That's true.
Like literally, it was a weather appropriate outfit, and the hoodie is something that it is something criminals wear, but a hood over your face like a stocking is something only criminals wear. Like a hoodie is something that everybody wears.
Yeah.
So there has to be a different level of profiling with it, because if it's raining and someone has a hoodie on. His only other option was to wear a suit and carry an umbrella.
He could wear a Gorton's Gloucester fisherman hat.
But I mean, what are the other options for him walking through the neighborhood in the rain?
I hear you.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Jackie, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Rescue me, please. Help me. Come on. Help me.